It would be nice. Yeah, they definitely.
I only have like 5 points on this, so it's not much.
See, like if they were to do another Civil War, I think it would be better if they were to just adapt the original Civil War and just call it Civil War 2 for the MCU, because they'd have the mutants, they'd have the bigger scheme of things, and just rework it. Like, don't have Nitro blow up. Definitely don't have Nitro blow up a fucking school. That Disney definitely won't let that slide. They definitely won't let that slide. But something, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like it'd probably be best if they just do the original Civil War and just slap the Civil War 2 on it, the title on it, because they'd have a majority of all of the characters that participated in the first Civil War. It'd be more impactful. The Accords are already there, so they can do something like the Mutant Registration Act to like double down on the Accords and stuff like that to make it more tense and stuff.
See, I feel like that would just be rehashing the same thing. Like, they got what they could with the Sokovia Accords, which is why I would think it would be more so on what the Civil War II was about in the second one, if not something completely different altogether. Like, I'd see it as they came across a mutant instead of it a human. It was a mutant boy or a mutant girl who can see into the future or some shit like that. And because of the shit that she was seeing, and because she's a mutant, like, the idea of this being like, not probability and nobody like really being there to argue probability.
What they can do? They can make that mutant destiny. Mm-hmm. Like, even though she's kind of a villain in a way. But like
that, and isn't she older?
She's older. I'm just kind of thinking, because like that's the only mutant that I know that can see into the future.
But what they can do with her is that the end of this Civil War, like whatever happens, like the skirmish between like heroes and everything and her, cause her to rapidly age, and that's why she becomes a villain. Like, rather, why she doesn't like heroes.
I mean, they don't even have to go. I was thinking more like how they did with Captain Marvel. Like, they totally reworked the whole dynamic between fucking, I don't know. Because, like, when people hear of Destiny, they go, oh, well, Mystique and Rogue. Mm-hmm. Like, this old bitch that was married to Mystique, and they adopted Rogue and all this other shit, and sent her to take down the fucking
and it's like the thing for Civil War II that I guess we're forgetting is like there has to actually be like some type of, outside of the internal conflict, an external conflict.
Like, the whole thing about it was they seen, I can't remember what started it. I think they seen
Bucky, or what they thought was Bucky blowing up the embassy that killed.
I was talking about the comic. Like for Civil War II, like I can't remember if seeing Thanos, him having a vision of Thanos. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, it was him having a vision of Thanos.
It was a few things before that. Like Ulysses was having some visions that were actually coming true, like some small time crimes or like, some situations that like people will find themselves in. Mm-hmm. And then it ended up with, what's it called? The final vision that kind of like set things off was, there was a vision that Thanos was going to invade Earth. And so Captain Marvel grabbed a team, including Rhodey, to go take on Thanos. They end up taking Thanos in, but there was significant casualties and injuries. Like,
they took Thanos in? I thought that nigga got away.
No.
I could have sworn that nigga punched a hole in Rhodey's chest. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dog.
He did. Captain Marvel ended up like capturing him and imprisoning him, but it at the cost of Rhodey's life. And Stark was like, what the fuck for? He didn't do anything.
Yeah, that was like the big stepping stone. The really thing that pushed it off was the vision of Spider-Man, Miles Morales killing.
Yeah, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was like, strike 2.5 for Captain Marvel when it came to Rhodey.
16-minute mark. We're going on 21:11 now.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to on topic. All right, so welcome back for those on YouTube to part 2 of our Captain Marvel analysis. Haven't done much analysis, so we're going to start analyzing right now. First point that I wanted to bring up about Captain Marvel was that Captain Marvel was the first official retcon for the MCU, and also a reminder that we don't know it all
Right.
when it comes to the MCU. For those who don't know what a retcon is, it's retroactive continuity editing. It's a comic book term that basically says that when a publisher publishes a work, like say, what's something that was changed in the comics? Spider-Man being black. So originally, Miles Morales was created to replace Peter Parker. And they killed off Peter Parker. Fans didn't like it, so they brought Peter Parker back and kind of pushed Miles where he's at.
I should say a better example of a retcon is Miles's origin. So Miles's origin originally was he became he became Spider-Man because Peter Parker's Spider-Man died.
Yeah.
He had his abilities for a full year, never did anything with them. So he felt responsible, like he could have did something to help out.
Yeah.
They changed his origin from Peter Parker's death to his best friend's death.
Yep.
That's a retcon.
That's a retcon.
It's a shitty retcon. I don't like that retcon, but that's a retcon.
Yeah. An example of another retcon is Batman's a meta. By definition of Argus. Anyone who is an exceptional badass for no unknown reason outside of plot.
No, real shit. Batman's a meta because of fucking plot armor. That's why.
Okay, so by plot definition, he's a meta because of the different metals that were secretly implanted into his.
Well, yeah, now.
Yeah, now. Retcon again.
Disney had to cover that. DC had to cover their ass about that one.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, why is Batman a meta? That doesn't make sense.
It also doesn't make sense that you can break every bone in his body and he still come back and whoop your ass.
But he's Batman.
Yeah, that don't make sense either. Anyway, so Captain Marvel, it shows us what S.H.I.E.L.D. was doing in the 90s, of which we had decided to we didn't get any glimpse. We only saw the 40s and present day. Because of the show. And present day post Avengers.
Yeah.
So it's a reminder.
I really wouldn't even say the 40s because technically that was the SSR. Like that S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't created to the 70s. I know it's really technical.
S.H.I.E.L.D. Adventure
it's like pre-S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
But
SSR. But pre-S.H.I.E.L.D., which would make S.H.I.E.L.D. active in the
70s.
Yeah.
Well, they were officially became S.H.I.E.L.D. in the 70s.
Yeah.
But they were doing all that crazy shit since the 40s. Let's be real.
Since Cap. Since first Captain America. So the second point is, while still on this point, when you're writing and you publish something, you should always publish and write your stories in a way that allows for wiggle room. Mm-hmm. And the best example of this is not being overtly specific when you're doing things, and also knowing what you're doing before you actually put pen to paper. Mm-hmm. Brainstorming and taking the time to plot out the X, Y's, and Z's of every step, and the reason for this, even if you don't put every step in your final work, that's fine. It's okay, because it could be interpreted, and if it can't be interpreted, then you can add to it later in another work. And this is the benefit of not showing everything or showing too much of one person's perspective, and the benefit of focusing on more than one character. You focus on more than one character and you can still expand your world out by bouncing from one character and remembering what your story is for this story and telling your character's story in the moments that they have within this story. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a triple subplot, a plot within a plot within a plot. If you're trying to do a subplot, that's what it would be like. You have your main plot, then you have your character's plot, and then you have any subplots. And each character should go by this, I guess, a diagram, a plot, character plot, and it's like, where do they fall in the plot? Where do they fall in their own personal story and journey? Like, why is this character needing to, like, because all characters need to evolve, right? So why does this character need to be in this particular situation, and how does this or doesn't help the character, like, you know, in the future? While on this subject, one of the things that Captain Marvel shows us is that there's more than one way to challenge a powerhouse character. And one of the ways that they challenge Captain Marvel's character, unlike Thor, is through psychology. They literally take her memory away from her and make her not remember not only her full potential, but that she was once human. This was probably real genius in writing. It's not with the power like Captain Marvel's, and I'm waiting to see, like, when X-Men, another X-Men Days of Future Past comes, eventually we know we'll get that.
Yeah, we'll get a proper one.
Yeah, because it's such an iconic story. And we see, like, characters like Bishop. Characters like Bishop should not have died the way he died in X-Men Days of Future Past. You can't overload somebody who absorbs
how
energy.
Pissed off I was when they killed. I was like, that makes no damn sense. Bishop is damn near an Omega level mutant because he can absorb so much energy. It does not matter what kind of energy it is, and he can absorb it you can get about 100 people that
the everyday reader or listener knows, Omega level mutant by Marvel Comics standards is a mutant who can potentially level the planet themselves.
Not only that, they really have no cap to them.
Yeah, there's no actual cap to their power. Like Franklin Richards, who is Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman's son. Most people don't even know he exists. Awesome ass character. Can warp reality, make Galactus his herald. Just to put into, and he's a mutant.
He's so cool. He had a toy cap gun. Like, not like a Captain America gun, but like a cap gun, like a pew pew, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like all the cowboy toy guns that you can get at the Dollar Tree store.
Norman Osborn was trying to take over the Baxter building. He held him up with the toy gun, pulled the trigger, and actually shot him.
Yep.
That's how powerful Franklin Richards is. And he was like 10.
Yeah.
And didn't even have full...
I cannot wait to get him in the MCU.
He didn't even know the full extent of his powers. He didn't even know how to control them, activate them, use them.
I think that's what's going to be so scary about mutants, because, like, we've had so few characters that have had little caps on them. Like, every character has a limit.
Had a limit, yeah.
And we know that they have a limit because they've lost. And they're very human in their limits, whether it's psychological or physical or whatever. Even Vision has his limits, and it's his lack of understanding of humanity and what he feels the right thing should be done. So it's going to be really interesting seeing mutants, because you have mutants in a whole nother definition of classification, meant for these beings with such unstoppable power that they essentially, like, you know, can control the world, blow up the world, kill any person on the world, drain the entire world of its water, flood the entire world. I mean, like, we have Namor, who can control the oceans and essentially the sea life within the ocean. He's a mutant and an Atlantean. And it's like, it's going to be interesting seeing these characters, because they're going to have to deal with things that are unfightable, like society.
Yeah. Like let's be real. What can Falcon Cap do against someone like Juggernaut? I mean, yes, and you guys are going to be like, Juggernaut's not a mutant. I know he's empowered by the the Sidorak thing, whatever.
The only
But still.
2 beings that I would say 3 that are capable of stopping him on the Avengers lineup as of right now, where they stand: Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Hulk.
Definitely not Hulk.
Well, yeah, now that he's lost his arm, so I'll say Thor.
Definitely not Thor.
You don't think he'd be able to stop him with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir?
Hell no. Because one, Worldbreaker Hulk was able to fucking wreck Thor. And Worldbreaker Hulk couldn't even stop Juggernaut.
I mean, he didn't try.
He had to move out the way.
He didn't want to stop him because he understood that it would have took too long. Like he calculated. That was the thing about Worldbreaker. Like Worldbreaker wasn't the typical like Hulk. He was actually smart.
I mean, I get that, but that leads into my point. Thor isn't capable of thinking like that when he's in the midst of a battle, especially when he's losing. And let's be real, he would definitely be
losing. But then you still have Hulk who broke Colossus. And
Colossus couldn't even move Juggernaut.
Well, I was going to say when he had the power of Juggernaut, he broke his arms.
No, he didn't have the power of Juggernaut then, unless you're thinking of another title. Because when he broke Juggernaut's arms, he was just Juggernaut. I mean, when he broke Colossus' arms, he was just Colossus.
Okay. Well, 2, Captain Marvel, by virtue that she could observe
Captain
energy.
Marvel, definitely fuck yes.
And I only
Doctor
say
Strange, definitely fuck it. He can just teleport that nigga somewhere else.
That or disconnect his connection with this with Sidorak.
For real.
There's multiple ways that Strange could actually handle Juggernaut. But yeah, you raise a valid point. Not any of the heroes, maybe Spider-Man can hold up a chance because
it's Peter Tingle.
Oh God. Anyways, let's roll on to this next point. Okay, so Captain Marvel, we're presented with a character where she has the power to affect massive amount of change, but yet she's morally conflicted on how she should be able to do that. And I think that that's another great way of challenging a powerful character. Because having the power to fix things, but knowing that you can't just do anything to fix it is not just a flex of intelligence in your character, but also a testament to how powerful they are. They're not just trying to be brawn.
Right.
They're trying to be brawn and brain, which adds a whole new complexity and dynamic to the story and the character that you're telling the story about.
Right.
So lastly, because like we don't get too much in Captain Marvel. We learn more about the state of reality in the MCU. Like what reality is in the MCU. And get a better understanding of where S.H.I.E.L.D. is. In the grand scheme of things, is that they're getting noticed by extraterrestrials because of the shit that they're tampering with and researching. But they're only researching this shit because Odin left it in their backyard. Like it was a trash can. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a bit of both Odin's fault and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s fault and why Earth has popped up on the radar. In addition to, when we talk about Avengers in the next video, how Earth and the snap happening on Earth it essentially made Earth noticed by everybody.
And not to mention that Earthlings were able to defeat the bad Titan. And I'm sure that had permeated the galaxy as well.
Yeah.
You know, the news of that.
Yeah. So Captain Marvel introduces the idea that there's racism in space. The Kree are straight up racist.
Yeah, man, racism is universal.
Racism is universal, and it comes to show that it is a mindset.
Boy, I'll tell you, Jan Rog was really grilling that racism into his students. I'll tell you that, man. He's like, these green bastards over here, man, you can't trust them. They green.
They show how basically racism thrives, and it's through propaganda and lies. It's through keeping your convincees ignorant. And it comes to show that Marvel definitely does its research when it's like, you know, telling these stories. And it comes to show also, and take note that when you write a story and you want to actually pass a message, it doesn't have to smack you in the face. It just doesn't have to smack you in the face.
Right.
But yeah, that was really like my last point. We kind of have to just wait and see where Captain Marvel can go.
I mean,
even in Endgame, you didn't get a lot of her, so.
Yeah, and it was a strategic move on their part. I don't think there was any like bad blood. I mean, for what I read, the Russos and the higher ups were just like, we don't know. Considering that they were filming before Captain Marvel started filming, they were like, we don't know how their movie's gonna go. Yeah. So we're gonna have her in it. We're gonna have her at a reduced role, which became a mega reduced role, which I'm fine with. It was about the core six anyway. So
yeah. And it needed to stay that way. Yeah. I loved Scott Lang's part. We'll get into Avengers in another video.
Yeah, definitely.
I loved Endgame. Well, thanks again, bro.
Always.
All right, well, next time, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're liking stuff like this.
And also hit that bell to keep posted with our videos. It will let you know when the video's been put up.
All right, next time, man. Peace.